Shubor nakashlem jong unongsan Hima.
The District Conference jong Rotary International 3240 kapalai Pynduhnoh kalau Pynduhnoh iga Jingïalehkai bakerpang bad Baichung Bhutia ubadai kapten barim ke football hari India. Aba Jingïalehkai Bhutia ulai kublai iga Rotary District Governor namar ke jingkhat ngob hayu banwan shimenta hakani ke program. Ula batai baka football ke ke Jingïalehkai ke basngotanat bha bad penken mau iga jilong kena jong hakapor ba ujule jongo iga shnong jong Habayat ho shapang ke jingim jong Bhutia ulayat ho ba ula he alasan ha shnong ka badap da jingjarngam ha saudong saukun bariat ho ru ba wan na long yeng ka barap baryang upen kan mau ru e ka por ba ujupet TV ha sian ka baningkong bad yo man siam na uwei orang Jingïalehkai ba paunam Diego Maradona ula ong ba kino Jingïalehkai na gajela kilong kinong lamdenti ya ha kalyang ka jingkershan yu watla ki jaka Jingïalehkai ki ki por kimpat dalong ki babet babyang Bhutia ula kran halor ka jingno senyang ka sorkar ha sports da ka boong baga jinglong jingman jong ka Sports Authority of India bat ka baibam ka ba uyo ka penbiang yu ban yo ka lat ban pentebet ha kam Jingïalehkai ulet huru ba hadian ba ula Jingïalehkai ha Subuto Cup ula sha jiet na India ha under 16 bat hadian ula lej ban Jingïalehkai no na ka benta ka East Bengal ula ong ba usngo dan bok ban Jingïalehkai ha por ba ka football ha India ka dangki ustad da ka ba mi ka tu ni ki club shimet hadian ba ula shong that kum no Jingïalehkai batebet Bhutia ula seng ya ka school football Baichung Bhutia ban pentebet ki samla badan sap ula ong bakatei ka academy kala Jingïalehkai ya kumbah new hajar ngot ki khna bat ka de ka wei ni ki jaka Jingïalehkai football ka behe tam hakari haba kentho halor ka culture Jingïalehkai Bhutia ula kentho ka culture VIP ka bajudan ka Jingïalehkai ha India da ka baong babun sian ka wanra ka jing penslam bat ki jingle ki bomler kam ha por Jingïalehkai ula banjur bade ban ailat ningkong kino Jingïalehkai but omday bandawa ban up ne shimenta hagjingle kum kajing ai khuble yekri pokman
for inviting me, and it's a great honor to be part of this wonderful occasion. At the same time, I would also like to thank our ACT President Yashoda ma'am for inviting me here to be part of it, and also a founder of Association for Conservation for Tourism, founder Raj Basuji, who's also here. We've been working on a lot of sustainable tourism and rural tourism for a couple of years, and I've just been part of this NGO for a couple of years, apart from my footballing journey and after retirement program. So, thank you, ma'am. Coming back, I think to your question, it's my footballing life as a childhood has been, I would say, very, very interesting, very nice, and till today when I go back to my village, I still have fond memories because when I started playing, this is around, I think, early 80s as a kid. And my village those days had no electricity, no roads. So when I was born, in fact, Sikkim had just become part of India. So there were a lot of transition time going on. I think, people, my father's generation were getting used to being part of India. Before that, they were just part of their own kingdom. So I was put into boarding school from very young age. But my growing up in my village was all about my vacations when my father would buy me that football and play with my kids around those villages. And life was, I think, when I go back and I take my children these days to my village and try to explain how our life was. We had to walk all the way 3-4 kilometers to catch the first bus to go back to a boarding school. But now when I go back, the car reaches right in front of the gate. So I think those experiences, what you've seen and what you've grown, are so natural, growing up around the environment, forest, village. My family comes from farming background. So I've grown up in such a wonderful environment, in green, a beautiful village in Sikkim. So yeah, that's how it went off. And I still remember 86 was when I first saw television, and Maradona would come out, and that inspired my and a lot of my age generation of players. And we still remember in village we were the only ones who had television. So my father was a panchayat, so all the villagers used to come to watch that game, and then somebody in that in those fields used to rotate those antennas. It has come. So those are the memories I think we've grown up with. I think it's been a fantastic experience when growing up in the mountains.
I think all of us have the same experience growing up in the hills and the challenges we face. I would like to ask you another question. Can you share with us your journey as a footballer and what are the challenges that you have faced?
So I think I've been very lucky. When I look at my elder brother was a good footballer. My father obviously as a panchayat during those days organized a lot of village tournaments. And my role models were a lot of, because those days we had no newspaper, no television. So role models were the local players. And when I look back right now, and even during those days as well, you look at the kind of support, facilities they got was nothing compared to what I've got. So I feel I've been very, very fortunate to get that kind of support because I was put into boarding school. Through that, Government of India came out with a scheme called NSTC, National Sports Talent Contest. And SAI was just formed that time because India had just hosted Asian Games in 82. And I was the first batch of SAI in 86 to be part of SAI scholarship scheme. And through that NSTC scheme, I got scholarship and became part of SAI. And through that scholarship, my parents were more flexible for me to play, let me play football because I think those generation of any kids, I think my generation, and I'm sure today it's good to see that we are quite a lot of us 40 above, so I think can relate to those generations because we were all into getting to studies and our preference from our parents where you've got to study, be a bureaucrat or something on those lines. So football was not at all an option to make a career. So I got into scholarship. Through that, I went on to play Subrata. And Subrata I was spotted, and from Subrata I got selected to play under 16 India. And that's how my life started, and I was very lucky enough when I was playing under 16, a great legendary footballer, Bhaskar Ganguly and Surjit Sen came in, was doing our under 16 state team camps for us. And that's how, through Bhaskar I got on to move into one of the best clubs in India, the great club East Bengal, and that's how my journey started.
So, listening to what you've been saying, I think your journey was pretty smooth. You had a lot of support.
Pretty smooth. When I see, that's what I was saying. I've spoken to, when I came to East Bengal, I was playing with a lot of senior players because I finished my 10th standard. I was 17 when I joined. And I was interacting to a lot of the players, including some of the biggest players, in Bengal, Krishanu Desh, Vikas Panji. We had I.M. Vijay, who was also a great footballer. Looking at their story, the struggle they went through, and they were going, and they were towards the end of their footballing career, and I was just starting. And the kind of challenges they had gone through was nothing what I went. But yes, today, if I look into a lot of today's ISL players, I think it's a different, and I don't, I always feel happy that I was in the right time, in the right generation when things opened up. Football started getting bit popular. I think India also opened up the market then. A lot of private channels got into it. For the first time, we started National Football League. Those days was called Philips League, which was I-League. And that was shown in a private channel, Star Sports, which was shown across India, across different parts of the other Asian countries as well. So I think that period was very, very important. And obviously there was hard work and there was a lot of good coaches to work, good players to work with, and things clicked.
Who had the strongest influence on you in the formative years?
A lot of people, because when you play football, you have different people in different generation and time. So when I actually started in Sikkim, when I was put into boarding school, there was this hostel warden who was brother of a legendary footballer in the hills, Mr. Urgen Lam, who was called Mini. He was one of my biggest inspiration then as well. So his brother was a hostel warden, and because of him, he was so passionate about football because his brother was a well-known footballer in the region, in entire Sikkim, Bhutan, Darjeeling, Kalimpong, that belt. And he actually made us get so much, obviously the passion and love was there, but being a hostel warden there, he came up with a lot of coaching, inter-dormitory tournament, and he also introduced us to world football. Those days we had no idea of Indian footballers as well. So television just came in, so he was the first one to show us Maradona, Socrates, Pele. We only had heard of Pele, and every village we went to watch, my father used to organize tournament, only used to say, Ayo Pele, Ayo, and we don't know how Pele looks, what is Pele, but we used to hear Pele. So that's how we got introduced. And then My uncle in Gangtok, when I got scholarship, I think he used to run a football club called the Boys Club, Mr. Bhutia. He had a big influence. And then I had a lot of coaches. My first coach as a Sai scholarship was Mr. Manas Chakravarti, who had come in. He was wonderful as a coach, as a person. More than a coach, I think he was like a father figure to us. So every time, apart from football, every time the final exams happened, and a lot of the Sai scholarships used to fail in few subjects. So Manas sir used to go to every teacher and say, "Isko pass karana hai, 5 subject, 5 dena hai." By the end of 7 years, whoever failed in NL exam came out passed because of Manas sir. So that was how he was like a great father to us.
All right. So I think your boarding years was, you could see, your formative and, a year that really put you into football.
I think if you grow up in a boarding school days, yes, you grow up with friends, you have a lot of great memories, and I think that's how it was for me.
So, how many matches have you played, and what are the lessons you've learned from your victory and your losses?
It depends. The matches, obviously when I started, this is when I first signed for East Bengal was in '93, and those days there's no data, nothing, there was no leagues. The biggest tournament for us was Kolkata League, and then Durand Cup, IFSC. There was no I-League or National League as such. So we played a lot of domestic tournament, Durand, DCM, Bordoloi in Assam, Governor's Gold Cup in Sikkim. So the count for domestic matches were not there. So I can't really say how many matches I played and scored, but for country, the data I think which is there, I don't know whether that's also right. I've scored 42, 44 goals. And I played 107 matches.
You deserve a clap, yes.
So as I said, I've been lucky and fortunate. So I've had the honor of being the first Indian player to play 100 matches for the country. And I think more than that, I've had a very distinguished record, which I think nobody in the world has had. I started my club called United Sikkim. And when I formed United Sikkim, within 2 years I took United Sikkim from a small club in Sikkim to top 12 clubs in India to qualify for I-League. And during I-League time, we were going through a bad phase, so I sacked my coach. So he was a Belgian coach we had hired. I had to sack him. So we had no coach. So for 4 matches, I had to be a coach as well. So I'd have a distinction of becoming a player of my club, United Sikkim, playing in the highest league, becoming a coach of the club, which is in the highest league in I-League, and also becoming the owner. So I don't think anybody's got that record of being a player, coach and owner of the same club playing in the highest league. But that's an experience which I have.
So, besides football, do you have any other favorite sports?
I watched all the sports. I was once upon a time a big fan of F1. I watched a lot of tennis. I did watch basketball a bit. When Olympics comes in, I think gymnastics, things like that. So I have followed mostly all the matches, most of the sports. So yeah.
Any favorite sport person or footballer?
Sports person, if I have to select any sports person in India, whom I would look up to, it would be Dhanraj Pillai. For me, I think Dhanraj Pillai, just not what he's done to hockey, but and I've shared camps with him. We've been in Asian Games for 3-4 Asian Games together in camps. What Dhanraj did was just not for the game of hockey, but he stood up for his players. He stood up for issues facing Indian sports person, and he was very, very vocal. A lot of times he got suspended. People did not, Hockey Federation didn't like him, had to be suspended, had to be fined. The Indian Olympic Association tried banning him. But he always fought for his players, hockey players, and also for other sports persons. And that's what I think is required in India today, because I feel so sorry with a lot of great sports person in India. We see, because sports right now in India is still, it's still a growing industry, and sports person, apart from few sports, cricket and other sports like tennis, I think 90 to 99% of sports person come from a very humble background. And there are a lot of difficulties these players face through. And there are players who've seen Olympics, who've been to the world stage, they have traveled all across the world, they have seen the infrastructure, facilities, and when they see lot of wrong things that's happening with sports person and the sports federations, I think it's important for big sports person to speak out. If they don't speak out, they've traveled across the world, seen the best of facilities, best of things, and they come and see in India those things are happening wrong and they don't speak out, then we're never going to change. It's very, very important. Some big, iconic sports person have to speak out for the betterment of the sports. And they don't do that, which I feel very, very wrong. And that's why I think people like Dhanraj Pillai, obviously any federation would not like it, or the government, any state government, central government would not like it. But he always spoke for the betterment of the sports. And the bad thing with India is the federations, I think, tends to not take it positively. And I think it's also in our culture. And that culture of ours has to change in India, because it's important to respect elders, but sometimes, a lot of times, the coaches, the club officials, the state associations or the federations don't do it right. You've got to speak out. But here it is all about, aapko respect karna hai, bade ke saath nahi karna hai, jawab nahi dena hai. I think sometimes that does not really help. You have to speak out.
We know that we have a lot of talents in football in the Northeast. What are the initiatives you have taken to promote football as in general?
Yeah, so after I retired, I found Baichung football schools. Now, BBFS has been there for 15 years, and today, Baichung football schools are the biggest grassroots football program in India. We've got more than 50 centers, we've got 6,000 to 7,000 kids training every day. Even the Reliance and the Tatas and the federations and the state associations can't have 7,000 kids training every day. We've been able to do that. And in the last 15 years, we've had kids that have gone on to play for India in different age group. We've got 30 to 40 players graduated and are playing in ISL and I-League. In the last 15 years, we've not taken a single rupee from any state government or a central government. The entire effort has been my own and our people working with BBFS. And that's the contribution, dedication and hard work we've done, and so we've got results as well. So yeah, I think we are in Shillong, we tied up with Assam Rifles public school here in Shillong. In Assam, we've got numerical football club which we've taken and working together with them. So yeah, a couple of centers here in Northeast.
We all know that we can say that football is a religion in the Northeast. So what is the message to the young budding Baichung Bhutias?
I think now, when I started playing, I think there was not many Northeastern players playing and making that. Football obviously is a religion in Northeast, and we've seen a lot of footballers come out. And I know I played in a place called Calcutta, Bengal, where it's Mecca of Indian football. The football fans are massive there. And I think that's the kind of support the Northeast states and the clubs will have to get. Like how East Bengal, Mohun Bagan and Mountains have their supporters. And a lot of Northeastern players or people are here. So you need to know the history of Bengal, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan and Mountains. You can't choose to support. I know a lot of Bengali people are here. You don't choose to support East Bengal, Mohun Bagan or Mountain. You are either born East Bengal or born Mohun Bagan. So when you play for them, you are playing for their legacy, you are playing for their history. And that's something you feel very proud. And they are very passionate fans. They support. And that's the kind of support we'll have to get from the Northeast as well. The clubs will have to come out and have that kind of fan following what East Bengal, Mohun Bagan and Mountains have. For the Northeastern footballers, I think the opportunity now is big. When I was playing as a kid, we had only sub-juniors to get platform exposure, and I was lucky because the SAI came in, and that happened the selection for SAI happened only 1 year. And a lot of Northeastern players had no opportunity to explore and get that opportunity platform to really go out as a kid, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, to show their talent. But today, if you look at Northeast kids, even in Sikkim or even in Shillong, you have all the big clubs coming here and having trials. BBFS, we do a lot of trials in Northeast. So now the kids have got that opportunity to be here in Shillong and come to the trials with Minervas, BBFS, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Bangalore FC, even Reliance come and do trials here. So all the big football academies come here. So I think for the kid in Northeast is just to have fun. You need to enjoy. You need to play from heart. You need to learn. You need to just have fun. That is the most important thing. You can't play to say I want to earn that much and I want to become Sunil Chhetri. I think you need to play because you really love it. Once you love, I think you're ready to work hard. So I think for Northeastern kid, the opportunity is big. There is huge talent here. There is a great environment with football in Northeast. That is the best thing we can have. You go to any Shillong district or Manipur or Sikkim, you know, there's an environment of football. Kids are playing. There's a lot of tournaments happening within the community. Once upon a time, Bengal used to have that, Calcutta used to have that, which I'm quite unfortunate and sorry that we are losing that kind of football culture in Calcutta. We used to have a lot of para footballs in Bengal. We used to have street footballs during those days. And I think that is slowly going out in Bengal. But I think Northeast that way, within the community, within the village, there are a lot of tournaments for the different age group. So a lot of players are coming out and every academies, clubs in ISL, I-League are coming to Northeast to scout those talents.
One or two more questions. You met Lionel Messi when he had come to India. What is your experience meeting Lionel Messi?
Actually, you know, Lionel Messi, from my heart, I was not that I wanted to meet. But my son is a footballer and he's grown up watching Messi and he's a die-hard fan. And he said, Dad, Messi is coming, I have to meet him. Please make sure I get to, if I don't meet also, please let me see him. So that was one thing which is put in. And I know that as a kid, if I was his age and Maradona had come to India and my father was a footballer, then captain in India, and I tell my father, you have to make me meet Maradona, if he doesn't meet me, I'm going to be very, very upset. So there was a huge pressure for me to make sure that Messi, my son meets him, because he's grown up, he's a footballer as well, he plays good football, he's grown up watching Messi. So I think one of the reasons was also making sure that he meets it, and my two daughters also were very, very keen. And, you know, again, you have this generation of players, like our generation at Maradona, this generation have Ronaldo and Messi. I think because of Ronaldo and Messi, you see huge number of kids playing. Yes, there are Indian stars as well. There is Sunil Chhetri, there is, you know, a lot of players.
Inspired, yes.
A lot of Indian players. So you need those icons to inspire the younger generation to play. And I think his tour obviously had a lot of controversies as well. But overall, I think a lot of youngsters got that opportunity to see him. Also, I'm sure it's inspired them. And it will only make them want to play football more and work more harder.
So, is Messi better than you?
I would want to believe I'm better. That's why I'm playing only in India and he's playing in Barcelona and he's playing somewhere else. So definitely not, because if I was somewhere near to him as well, at least I'll be playing at least in lower levels in USA Major League Soccer where he's playing now. But obviously Messi is Messi because I think you have that generation of players once in a lifetime. And I've been very fortunate to see Maradona's generation. He was, I think, one of them. But for me, if I have to select all-time best footballer would be the Brazilian Ronaldo. Not Cristiano, but I think Brazilian Ronaldo was another player who has inspired our generation because we were during the same generation. And for me, I think he's the greatest. So you get to see only this kind of players once in a lifetime. And I think Messi is once in a lifetime player. And to see again another Messi, I think it'll be very, very difficult.
As they say, is the GOAT of football.
There is, for me, GOAT is again Brazilian Ronaldo, but yes, you know, Messi and Cristiano has obviously inspired a lot of players.
Yes. So the last question is, what is the message to the to your fans sitting out here who've come far and near and enjoying listening to you now?
No, I think my message is very simple. I think now with social media coming into everybody's house, I think it's you know, we've experienced that. During our generation, we were struggling to, you know, our parents used to catch our ears and bring it in to make sure you study. And now our generation, we're trying to make our kids go out and play something. So it's become a very, very difficult time because we want our kids to be more outdoor, play more sports, but with social media and phones coming in, it's a challenging thing. So I think for everybody around here who's come in, I'm sure there are parents here, there are grandparents as well here. It's important that India now is trying to become a big powerhouse in sports. I think the government of India under Prime Minister is trying to bring in Olympics in 2036. We've already got Commonwealth Games. So I think the government is putting in a lot of effort to make the country more sporty. And I think it's just not the responsibility of government and things, but it's also individual effort from every one of us to make sure that if we even don't play, let's try and start watching some sports to encourage our kids watching some sports, playing some sports, so that India becomes the next, sporting nation. We always complain when we don't do well in Olympics, we don't qualify. I don't want to talk about football because football right now is in a very bad state. But we always complain. But we also need to look at ourselves that what are we doing to promote the sport. Everybody does not need to play, but I think it's very important that if you don't play as well, you need to start watching it. Create that environment within our house for kids to feel that there's an environment of sports here. If you're not playing, you're talking about sports, you're watching sports. And if you can encourage kids to take up and play, you don't need to be professional or go on to play for India, but for your own health, I think it's very important for them to play. And when you play sports, I think beyond your college days, once you start working, I think sports teaches you way of life. It teaches you to look forward. It teaches you how to lose. It teaches you how to win and be a team member as well. I think the lesson what you learn from sports is so much than what you learn from other subjects. So I think it's very important that everybody here would at least try and encourage the next generation coming to play and to support sports, because in India we are more into reality shows. Now 9 o'clock everybody's into Saas Bahu and Big Boss. I think we need to change that. Please, I think we need to change our culture, we need to change our style, system, and we need to create some environment where kids want to play sports and stay healthy. So in this mobile age where mobile is there, I think it's important that we play a big role, just not the school teachers and sports teachers and the government, but as individual parents, we have a bigger role for our kids to make them that they play sports.
So you've heard from the legend himself, sports is very important, reminding us that to keep healthy we need to have sport. Ma'am would like to ask a question, so I pass on the mic.
In Shillong and the outskirts, we have a lot of those futsal grounds. So how important are those grounds? We also see that if you want to get into a futsal ground, you have to pay money, and people are making money out of that. But you're also losing out grounds that earlier children could play freely. So what are your views on that?
No, I think any kind of ground is very, very helpful, and it's always going to help and contribute. In fact, you won't believe, in Spain, when Spain was not a big footballing nation, so they were, struggling to always get into second round of World Cup, and they were struggling as a country. And that's which I read, and I think it's quite right, you will have to check up, but Spanish government and the Football Federation just built a lot of these futsal grounds across the country. They just built it and left it. And when you build it and leave it, it's bound to be utilized. They will have kids coming in. And a lot of kids came and started playing, and after that ground, I think they built around thousands of futsal grounds across for kids to come and play. And with futsal, I think in our younger days as a kid, it's very important you play futsal, because if you're below age 12, it's important to play futsal because you get maximum touch, the ball, it's a different ball game altogether. So Spain went on, after certain years of building that, within 6, 7, 8 years, I think they started with tiki-taka football. They started getting players with great technical quality. They had some of the shortest players, Xavi, Iniesta. These guys were not so strong, not so physically built, but technically they were the best in the world. And it's also to do with a lot of, the kind of the futsal ground. The problem here with India is we build all these grounds, and the government would lock it, any state government and the central government would lock it and keep it and not allow anybody to go in. So I think that's wrong. I think we need to. I was an advisory with Government of India in Mission Olympic Committee and all the other bodies as well. One of my advice was to the government sports ministry was, I said, let's not spend money on building stadiums. Let's build grounds. I think for India right now is not spending 4,000, 5,000 crores on building stadiums, getting that infrastructure. You don't need to build that. Just build grounds, small, big, any kind of grounds. Let the kids come and play. Once you do that, you get a lot of players. The priority here is, and with Messi, you had asked about Messi, with Messi's tour, I think it has exposed how bad the VIP culture is in sports as well. And this has to grow. Our stadiums are first built. VIP kahan baithega, neta kahan baithega, car park kahan hoga, and where are this one? There is nothing spectator friendly. There's no bathrooms for spectators to go in the stadiums. And there are top stadiums across India today where they don't have proper bathrooms for fans and the families to go in. So we are only making it for the VIP thing. So I think this culture, what Messi's tour, I think exposed that we have to get rid of this VIP culture. Every match we have to wait. Chief guest kab aayega, handshake karega, bhasan sunayega, tab match hoga. I think this has to go off. The football match or the cricket or the hockey is important. The players are important. You come as a neta or a bureaucrat or any VIP, go watch the match, enjoy it. If there's a final trophy to be given, you can give it. But you don't need to come and shake hands, photo up, kare, bhasan de, and then the match to start. I think this culture has to go away in India.